show to me comes from the fact that you're very detached and you take this approach of like, it's all silly and I want to be entertained by it. You cross over into this like anger and contempt, and it's to me it's hard to do comedy from that place.
Yeah, we don't want to be like that. It's all fun and games for us. Yeah, honestly, we're standing on, as I said before, we're standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, we got people like Rogan and Shorty Pie and Ryan Joseph and Prison A Banana and all those people.
No, it is because like people have really kind of get pretty good numbers for the fact that like you know. But I'm a numbers guy, so guys do really good numbers for I don't know how many, but it always looks like people engage, and that's kind of another one of these cool things that I'll probably consider like here's how I think and here's how Brendan thinks, and I think the mistakes that led to us falling out are part of this because I think when you're dealing with podcasting and social media, you have to cultivate and treat them like equals in a sense. You can't kind of think this like I'm just better than everyone, and that's part of what the read comments.
So it's like good morning,
your opinion doesn't matter at all. It feels like it's like, well, I've never gotten a tag from a comment saying, maybe you should. Right. Yeah, maybe you should get a hey, you're an asshole from the comments, or just some sort of like look for a repeating pattern. You go over the comments and see like if half of them are people saying,
actually, I want to hear coming
I think you're 100% right about that. And that brings me to my first question.
Should be illegal.
Which a lot of cats are.
I was going to say, so begin by thanking all of our sponsors for this morning.
He doesn't read the comments. He doesn't do social media.
Annual commentary.
Does he have writers that you don't have to say if you want to?
All the sugar crush
who they are.
So is fellows from Army. So very responsible for the month of Adar. Harry is extremely loving memory of Harry's father, Dr. Harry Khan. Steve Hirsch, Ben Joseph, Cohen, and the Ziv Berman families of memory of Mr. William Ziv, Zeb Schwab. And the songs of the Rabbi, we often have the American Rabbi, the families in the Kamo, all of those who need a food. All of our homes, example, all of our state day. That is a big state test. You know, definition of unpaid test. Which it says as follows. A, yes, we did your homework. The rector assigned some homework last night at the end of the year. If I don't start on the right topic Sunday, there's absolutely no chance. And plus, if you look ahead, we have some incredible ahead of us this week. So, gotta give myself a fighting chance. Says the Mishnah on page 89A. Even Mishnah is supposed to do again. We are still on the incredible sugya of the second numbers.
You almost have to read.
Same as Mishnah, so remember again, when we were already what type of
when you try to joke, it has to be funny.
The actual
college. It helped me kind of conceptualize like that a verbal joke at least hinges on this double entendre and then just sort of become
initially was a basis of discuss hypothesis.
One rule is like this way,
always that somebody's gay.
It's just like, yes, I like format to that and just go, I don't know, like, I think what opened up his creativity is to think about,
Malin also
nature
takes a look at Shalayim. We take this up with the high tech Shalayim. But with Sherman also at Haregel,
projections,
also Haregel. So what he is doing
this direction is
so
I'm
the
about
next
myself.
up coming like the next up coming one of the writing things that was
I'm surprised he has a therapist, but there's
remember again, this is the first job, the first
it's somebody I think like,
what is it
it's
like reference to?
It's the hot chip guy's name. We can use
Rebellion.
the producer.
Everyone's on his
He's a
journey.
great guy. He's really smart.
Everyone's not
yeah,
just
he
like
seems like I only watched that one Cleveland Macy's thing.
The hot chip opens things. Hearing his phone. All he wants to see is these guys take off.
never like, okay, let's sit back, let's feel next thing, we're always traveling towards something next thing. The current is now behind us. So you're going to have to get to
I don't really like hot chips.
again, so that's the sound point to but now again, Bob Hashem, it's okay. There's something behind us.
Too much you have to teach right
So again, it's the first thing you're going to see. The keys is up in my brain. You know, open it up. I was looking at the right one. I was looking at the second. And the reason that's where I go, executing on your fascinating. Now, why? Why should it matter? Because you know, for the reason you don't want to make that's the possibility. The entire here, they will hear, and it's actually less probably the
any other games?
people have to
Such a good question. I should have.
You come back to
Like, as I know it will, I went through a few different things. And actually, to me, the Gringo Pop is a good name. Like, imagine a special if it was like the delve into like deeper stuff that kind of stuck maybe more to like actually exploring Mexican culture and how like music, right? Like, you know, like where there's gonna be times where we just break it down.
And what do we do? Here's the issue. Everyone agrees that he's always
hilarious when you try to think of what it could have been.
They're going to get the publicity component essentially is established by holding him until the Regalim and executing him again on the Regal. And we just say, no, we don't do that. Let's say, we don't have this somebody brought it to that. Yes, we're not going to go ahead and at a time. That had an execute him. So what we'll do is we'll send out letters. All the community saying he's going this by research. And again, that's how we go ahead and make the publicity, write about it, and we will send it out. We'll put this on those focus about how we go ahead and when we go ahead and execute it. Because they're not biased. Let's have a lot of also. Globalization was not close to right. So it's pretty much equal to the right system. In the recent also, globalization don't execute globalization. The globalization should be out there. Not even in the Japanese. Once again, Jason and Japanese itself was exiled too. Hello, Marlon also the base of other cities. Rather, again, what do we do? It's like a number of the icon. And the shaman also Agaraga. And we wait to hold him, like holding himself up until the Yom Tiv. And we meet him also the Regal. And we execute him on the Yom Tiv. Then I follow on Vishnu, Zero, today that the execute. The positive, everyone will hear, and they will hear.
This special theme.
These are the words of Rabbi Akiva. So again, remember, Rabbi Akiva is actually called up. But even had a turn of every guy with the problem is also simple. When you're trying for the Regal, I'm going to use up. The go. Just because you say that they should hear and they should see. So the Akiva is making it out that people should see something not right executed. And the Akiva says that the positive say that they should hear and they should see. Although Ne'emar Elis Yishu, all it says is that they should hear and they should hear. That's the most important and it shows that. So essentially, again, the Akiva says that they should hear about it. As long as they hear about it, that's more than enough. Furthermore, again, why go ahead and delay his special? Dharma and Akiva shows that. Well, say, look, it's interesting that you understand this to be like, usually give it a big corruption of the thing. Something else, life is,
Here's what she actually looks like. She's like, looks like she's in her 50s. She looks like she could be late 40s. Gorgeous, like very pretty, incredible body. Like she's a sexy 50-year-old woman. You wouldn't pick out of a lineup and say she's Mexican. You'd be like, oh, she looks like she could be like French, Spanish, Argentinian, something like that. Like there's nothing stereotypically Mexican about her besides a slight accent on top of otherwise perfect English. I want to talk about somebody like Spanish or English,
so much about taking whatever the current circumstances.
Just Elise was always kind of like building up this joke, like she doesn't speak English, but she doesn't write it.
The greatest anxiety in life is when you know that something negative is going to happen, but it's not happening now. I'm like, I'm waiting for it. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's like, sometimes like, but then, I know what it's going to happen. I got it, you know. But why would you delay it? What's the purpose? Was it serious for people before that?
Honestly, we saw that because
you have to execute with Rachmanis. Now, to the world, that might sound like a little bit.
I think he either has to be in his mind or we've just been talking.
Difficult to
see the documentary of the making of the study.
Yeah, we want a documentary about
why delay? Like Pedro, we're going to say, Rabbi, I don't need to know something. I've been posting stuff with the Pomoko. It's cloning this high needs of the baby. And again, how do we fulfill the prophecy? Right? That is, send out the letter. So-and-so is executed as something else. So those are, this is the one we're talking about. Rabbi and Rabbi how we execute something. Okay, incredible. Those are guys. How about speaking after also? Now, because clearly, what you see with your memory is, it's not just how you execute, but this is
my questions I wanted to ask. As we all know, he was looking for a new,
what is it that's happening. By the way, there are four other situations, like four situations where in general, it's not just enough to execute, but a public announcement has to be made. Who are they? Number one, Amesis. Amesis is the one who goes out and incites others to worship about the Sarah. Then Sorah people, right? Sucking Mamre and Eichel Solar. Interesting. All of these four lead hashras that we need announcements. Rashi says that they have Raza, quoting these, but these are Agra Berezu, Kede Lirdos as Hafid. So literally, these are announced, so-and-so's executed because he has Rera, and all of this is done in order to make the public example, like people should follow suit. It says, Kulu Ksibu, B'chol Ha'am, B'chol Yisrael. So ultimately, again, I'm sorry, B'chol Ha'am. So like all of these regions, B'chol Ha'am, the entire nation, will see. Interestingly enough, B'chol Yisrael, B'chol Yisrael, B'chol Ksiv, and Nisharim, ולא כל עמך חז מזודסה. This was Sahab Yisrael. So it's interestingly enough, by Zorin, the Lashon and Nisharim, those who are left over, right, those who remain, why doesn't it use the same expensive Lashon ultimately again as Kol Ha'am, Kol Yisrael? What's the reason? The reason is because by Eidos, not everyone is fit for Eidos. Eidos are cool. Why? Because they all said that some occasions they can gamble. They can't go ahead and do Eidos, right? Because it's not there. I can't go through Eidos, can't play Eidos. So because Eidos itself is not open to the public, therefore in the public acquisition also doesn't have to be, or is not as sleeping as the other said. Okay, you can also say, beautiful, you want to start? So we each talk and Sunday already done a whole week. Great. Mishnah, Navi Sheker, Navi Sheker. Next guy is hiding himself. Navi Sheker, false prophet. Okay, so what is he? Hamisnavi Mashalo Shama, Mashalo Ne'emado. So what's the Navi Sheker? So again, there are a couple of different examples of this. Number one could be a person who prophesied something that he did not hear. Okay, or something that was not said to him. That was an interesting example. So let's say again, I'm standing around with my friend that's Yiddish. A lot of stuff happens like Yiddish, right? So what happens? My friend gets in the Zohar Kiddush. By the way, many people think the Kiddush, right? Especially by your third Kiddush. Suddenly I get your prophesizing against prophets, right? So again, so what happens? We're standing next to the way. You then get to the Zohar. Now it happens to be, it's a legitimate Zohar, right? Case number one, I prophesied something that I did not say. Case number two, the devotional gave my friend the Zohar. I heard how that happens, right? I heard the Nebuah, and I say it over. That's not my prophecy gift. That's not my prophecy gift. That also falls under the category of the umbrella of Rabbi Rothschild. In this case, you saw some video. These individuals, like Rabbi Rothschild, is executed by court. By court. Aval Kovish is Nebuah, so let's say this is fine. Kovish is Nebuah, so someone who sees Nebuah or refuses to share it.
All he cared about was like making Brian
So
look bad.
sees Nebuah and refuses to share it. Or one who goes ahead and simply disregards, ignores the word of a Navi, or a Navi who receives Nebuah, that violates the only word that he received. So all these cases, all these individuals again get into Shemayim. That at the hands of heaven. That at the hands of heaven. Incredible. Shemar, I know he at Rosh me. I'm established of all those stuff. We're going to get into all these pieces. I'm established of all those stuff. Somebody prophesies this with the name of an Abba and whatever. So Omer Abba stuff. And again, the person says, literally again, this is what the Abba stuff says. Even as Abba even if what? Even if what he's saying is factually correct. Now, let's say a person comes along and says, I hereby say in the name of Avodah Zarah that one is supposed to, avoid kindling a fire outside. Right? So, the Mishnah says, even though he's not saying anything wrong, and what he's saying is actually in line with what people know, the fact that he's giving it over in the name of an Avodah Zarah, by definition, makes him wild. First culture, even Trinitness of the Church of others, when Abapish don't live a lot. How do we say the first? So again, if a man has a relationship with a married woman, even if this married woman has not just lived with her husband. So she had illusion, or they just got married and soon, but again, they did not get lived together. That is Boel, the adulterer, is punished by terror. Someone made Bascoin of Allah, so ultimately again, it wasn't Bascoin is adultery, straight up. Remember again, that's unique thing for her. It does not apply to her adulterer, nor does it apply to so many, like giving witnesses who testify falsely about her. Shekal HaMuslimin, even though also means the Muslims don't have Bascoin about. In general, again, the way it works with
I like dissecting that kind of stuff.
The exception to this is anything is only by a fast coin. She gets the vote, but they, as well as the adulterer, will get credit. Okay, you gotta go. Let's analyze. Says the Gemara. So there are three things. These are all categories of false prophets. Three of them ultimately again are killed by a court, but three of them is missionary. Okay, so what are they? And it's not a marshal of Shama, or marshal of Ne'emarlo. Once it's ultimately again, the person goes ahead and prophesies something, I should say. It does a prophecy that was not said. There was essentially your inventing prophecy. Now again, this is prophecy in the name of the Baruch. The person does inventing prophecy, or they go ahead and they convey prophecy that was said to someone else but after them. Or I'm a Snavi B'Shem of all this stuff happened. Right? I'm a Snavi B'Shem of all this stuff happened. Or a person goes ahead and prophesies it in the name of Avodah Zarah. Right? As I said before, even if what they say is factually correct, the halacha is Sasan Ide Adam. All three of these individuals are executed by a human court. Kovish is Nebuah, so another thing is Nebuah. So that's not shared. On the back of the Nebuah, somebody disregards the Navi Shabbat, and Navi disregards his own prophecy. We saw the Israelites. Ultimately, again, their
Right, they're trying
death
to say,
is
he's
at
like,
the
oh yeah,
hands
we should try to like
of
this, and like
they will say,
he's kind of giving him like his brain, and his brain's like,
yeah,
oh,
this
I'm like a
now the
business and
national
marketing
Shama.
guy, so I'm trying to
I
get Anthony to like
understand
advice, but it seems like
why
he's like,
somebody who
Anthony's talking this way.
emphasizes, person says, I received the
I
vocal
got
from the people translation.
He says that in like weeks,
I
and I'm
understand what
like,
is it here.
that was Anthony just
Right, it makes sense. Makes sense. You're inventing prophecy.
fucking idiot.
I will say, but if I go ahead
Talk to me about
and I
anything
hear a prophecy
like
given to someone else and I give it over,
the second
I
part of
understand
it
that it's
was
not
when I
good.
saw him
Why
talking,
is it
he was
giving me
like,
something? Like, what's, I'm not making up good information. The information is factual. Information is correct. No, okay, we'll see why it is. That makes me want to watch, 28 minutes of special. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but I wouldn't take that as like just release 28 minutes, because then people is like, well, it's because golden life is never
much half of it. I don't know, like, or if you take an average, it's like, well, maybe there's some that people turn off after 3 minutes because it sucks, and then people watch an hour. That doesn't tell me anything personally.
It's not mine. When I take that prophecy and I now make it mine,
correct. So all of a
that's
sudden, too, when I put on the Gringo Poppy, maybe he's onto something.
yeah, both of us trying to become someone else alike.
No, I watched the whole show. You guys watch it multiple times. So the final thing with the Justin was he's like, no, you should like argue with just like tell me like half of it. You still have your other
Trying
hour.
to become
And
other
Justin
people.
was very
You
diplomatic.
see other people who
And
kind of
this wasn't
represent us
insult,
on
but I
the
like
level
how
of
he thought
success.
about it. He was
But
like,
then I want to be
actually,
that
like,
guy.
I do the
I
whole
want to
hour
be that
because
guy.
to me, each one of my hours is like a novel. Like, I'm not going to release half the novel. I was like, yeah. Like, and then just, I think showcases his artist mind about it. That he's like,
My hope is never to
I'm not going to
become
upload this. I can
someone
have
else.
this for the
So
road.
the solution when you speak in the Vua that was given to someone else,
But
you
just to
need
answer
your
your
own.
question fully,
That is the
there was
highest
many jokes
fundamental
that he's
level
still
of
doing in his
personalistic
set. And it's
application.
funny because
That again, my
but it's not.
outfit is to be me.
Like,
And
and not
to
that
be
I don't
the
think he's
best
shortchanging
version.
as far as time. We'll go an hour
Someone
20,
else
whatever,
is
and try
the
new stuff
one,
and have fun.
and
But
you
like,
make it your own.
there's definitely jokes that still
What are you doing?
another group of
It's not alike. Because once they know that
honestly, I
you
don't even know
fall
what
outside,
he's
you're
like.
always
I
going
was
to
in the
become
editing room,
someone else.
yeah, it's like
Like,
learning
there's
editing.
always
I feel
someone
like,
better.
well,
There's always
actually,
someone
a
more
lot of this is
successful. There's always someone else.
even
That's
this
trying
week
to
of
be like
week,
other
like I was like, I
people.
don't know, this
So
is
I just think
that's
like trying
what
to
we get
become
it
the
out
best
of 90
version of
seconds.
yourself. Incredible. All right, let's go like this. Let's come out. But
Just
now anyway, so we're doing all this stuff. I'm gonna do הנביא אשר יוזב לדבר דבר בשמי. So it says to open the book and Rabbi will intentionally try to say something over my name. Who's that? Sam Mashlo Shama. Therefore, came up here and with prophecy getting over something that was not given. Okay, guys. Next. Vasher lo tzibis. I did not command it. Holo chaveru tzibis. So that I did command it. So what is that referring to? Zam is not a mashalo le'am. That refers ultimately against the body, but it's something that was not said before. And he will go ahead and say something over the name of another God. Zam is not a about this company. That refers to somebody who prophesies and they idolatry. Again, we're also looking at things of that. Because of that, is even if informationally what you are saying is correct, the fact that open room about all this makes you liable to that. And all of these cases, what is about to say, makes a Navi have properly to that. But we said, what the Torah stands in the I will say again, stand whenever the Torah says a death penalty, it doesn't identify which death penalty the default is. And I good, we'll say that's not the story. Next, accomplish a show also. But the back out of the Navi Shahabrat, this is someone who prophesizes, but again, holds back his prophecy, doesn't share. Without there, are words of the Navi. Or number 3, a Navi who finds his own. All these people have put to death Yishma. You really know this. From Siv, Va'ish Asher Yishma. The Pasuk says the first one after the Navi will not listen. Karibei Lo Yashmiya. So the Lord has not only Lo Yishma, but Lo Yashmiya will not make it heard. This is what? Holding back his own prophecy. The Karibei Lo Yashmiya, the Karibei Lo Yishma. El Divrei, Siv Anochi Edrosh Nikimo Yishma. So again, In that one pasuk is someone who hears it, disregards it, cites someone who hears his own prophecy, disregards it, somebody else who hears the word of God, disregards it, and another ultimately again who is Kovic as Nick also does not share his word. And it's not a man Shalosh Shana.
Like it was like an argument.
And I think about some examples. Like, also, found that a little later. And it's not a man Shalosh Shana. The person prophesizes something he did not hear. So Gemara gives an example. Don't Sitya ben Kinana. Like Sitya ben Kinana. Who's Sitya ben Kinana? The Siv, Bayan, no Sitya ben Kinana. Harnei Parza. By the way, so this is the story of Navi. Of where Iran was attacking the show, and the line. So again, it's the king of Israel, righteous and generous, and but they realized that they have to form an alliance in order to combat that. So Yoshua was like, I'll go with you, but I need some prophecy to back this up. Because it's like the shtickle unholy alliance. Sometimes you need an unholy alliance to accomplish holy objectives. So I feel like Yoshua was like, I guess
screaming of curse words.
Aka produces.
Aka has got no show to be a very good MMA person.
Right? So in other words, Aka was producing coach with the prophets. And still Yoshua is not exactly convinced. So there was this other guy, Sitya ben Kana, which is being accused of having he fashions, he makes iron horns. And it was supposed to symbolize the fact that Kali was going to war around. We're going to be successful. Okay, so the Gemara says as follows. So my habit is, so again, so now, Sitya really deceived us. He really did deceive prophecy. But ultimately, what we're going to see is there's a strip of false prophecy. Because again, whatever the country was battle is also this battle. All of this movement was a country's way to war on the big battles that Aka would die in battle. So the Gemara says, my habit of what George Bush's Sitya had done. So Sitya was deceived by a spirit. He was the spirit of devils. So say that means remember, devils had a beautiful image, and Aka very much loved it. So the Aka devil was so Aka has a lot of time to settle. Her husband Aka was that he brings devils up on false charges. Devils were executed, and ultimately Aka
You mentioned the road. There's questions about the road.
So what happened? So the spirit of devils came back and kind of appeared to Sitya, making it look like it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in order to get Aka to go out and balance the Aka to go out. Okay, that's it. Remember Hashem, me yifakes Aka, V'yal v'yachal v'yiva b'ramos gilad, b'ramos gilad. Baruch put out a call, like the Shabbos. The Shabbos, who was willing to go down and pull Aka into going to war. I hate that rock, I have one of the So the spirit came apart and said, I will go and entice Aka to go to war. If that, they got two calls say, but also came, or the mind say, what does it mean that the prophet said to the spirit? It turns out to the spirit of levels. Go, same in we have to, so it's definitely incredible. The Baruch was essentially saying to the Shabbos, whichever one of the Shabbos wants to go, you can go, but after you go, you can't come back. Why not? Because Java, this spirit was to deliver a false prophecy. That he always was all MS. All MS. And it's something that is not MS, but not designed to the side of the empires of the Ribonos of all those last years. So ultimately, again, it was the spirit of Lamos who was there to avenge his death by Nisu out of the body. So that was the spirit that appeared to the city that I should have been a little bit more vigilant. Signal Echad Ola Lekamen. They created him as having a signal Echad. So it's interesting to know. You can have many prophets that have the same prophetic message, but each of them get it in a different way. That multiple prophets were saying the same message, but
But
no
like,
two
he was
prophets.
convinced. Like the Thursday night show was like sold
That
out. And I
matter
showed up.
again.
It's like there's
Today,
20 people
the
here.
word about Kodesh Baruch Hu in the same way.
I'm not
You know, they're like, oh, that job, Zodom, Libach, Yisrael. Yirmiyah, Allah, Tzatzatzka, Yisrael, Zodom, Libach. But I said again, just examples of the idioms conveying the same general concept, but each of them receiving it and conveying it in a slightly different way. Those things, exceptionally very different. Because about it wasn't just law. The law represents almost like the highest level of religion of Kodesh Baruch Hu. So what is the Gemara saying? No. When you relate to God, when you interact with God, relationship, Baruch Hu is very. It's like nevertheless, it's a very. No, ultimately, as you sit here with life,
You think the earthquake is serious?
That's exactly the same thing. That's a pathetic red flag. It's simply to realize there's something going on. The Gemara says, so one second. Maybe Sidkia didn't know the same with the release. Sidkia didn't know that prophets can't have the same prophecy. Maybe she didn't know this halacha. The Gemara says, Yo Shafat Havahazam Shekama Levu. It's still like Yo Shafat Ha'ein Paul Rabbi. Yo Shafat was there. And Yo Shafat didn't know how Yo Shafat said, there's something wrong over here. There's something wrong over here. Because everyone is saying the same exact thing. It was like, I just want to point that out because this is, so not only is it an incredible lesson in terms of like our relationship with God, but all of us can interact and relate to have this different relationship with Hashem. Let's say something like God stuff.
If somebody's trying to attack Brandon, of course I would be helping out, and of course I would be, like, that goes for anybody in the club, really.
That's what
And I think that maybe was a legitimate, like, concern on his end. And somebody's, you know, he does have hairs, and everybody would like friendly comments and that.
You know what I want? I want one of you to do saying different things, and you're all of them sitting in the same room together and interacting with the other. That's actos. That's actos. We have this very skewed view of actos. That actos means like
you showed up to the club,
yeah. What does Rashi say about Har Sinai? Har Sinai, Rabbi always said, one of people with one heart,
you know, that's kind of telling as far as like how he sees people. It's like, what do you mean? You have a free minute during the day, like give that to me, you know? Or like, oh yeah, why don't you do everything all at once?
That's crazy. But did you ever have to like do security in the Thick Boy? You like these Thick Boy fans?
Well, that thing is also like I used to wrestle. So when I wrestled in high school, like up against heavyweights, I was like a sparring, so like a big guy of like 270 or 300 pounds, like that's not very intimidating to me. I should probably be scared of like if you like 180 wiring a cauliflower mouth, this guy's probably like under trains combat sports or something like that. But if you look like a football player, like an old lineman, it's a guy with an old lineman.
It was like, and then what was so beautiful, is that afterwards, Hashem act like this went on for about, it took it out 3 hours, but it was perm time, so not 30 seconds, you know, we have everything slower. Those you know what it was, that at the end, like, the way it ended, I don't know how, like, I don't know what it is, but somehow, it started like that, and then about 3 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever it was just a symbol of joy. Like I said, I don't know exactly what happened, right? So, but the ones that say,
I can honestly say, like, not
isn't
if you
that what
would be
it's
scared,
about?
oh, it's true every
Isn't that what it's
I'm saying
about? It's about the ability
feel
to help
fear.
people,
I'm saying
even
that
if you vehemently
I
disagree.
believe that I would be
It's
willing
about
to
the
step
ability
in the
to
face
love
or
people,
start
even
stepping
though
in a cage and risk
they're
getting hit in the face
absolutely
multiple times by deer. So
wrong,
that doesn't
and
like you know, give me a half
love
$1 paycheck.
every
Doesn't
single
sound so
step of
scary
the
today.
way. That you think that what they're saying is the most uninformed,
I mean, nobody going around like, I could love
incorrect thing in the world,
fighters. Like,
but I
I'm
love
not
you.
that, but I'm just like,
Yeah, I
love
yeah,
you.
but you
So
would
when you
choose,
see
like, if somebody
hundreds of
offered you enough money,
people
like,
saying the
what's
same
the worst
thing,
that happen? I get
we
knocked
like
out.
to surround
There's,
ourselves. People say the same
Yeah,
thing.
it'd have
It's
to be
so
a lot
boring.
for me to fight
It's
deer.
so people live like in an echo chamber. Like an echo chamber. You know, college someone says, a lot of them are uninformed, and a lot of them are incorrect, and a lot of them are just wrong. Feel free to see me after the show for all this repertory, like shoot us in positions or like, it's gonna be free.
Did you ever actually have to fight these fans?
So what happens? When you see hundreds of people that all saying the same thing, something's off there. You're in a room with a bunch of people that are all saying different stuff.
looking for a good
And
time.
practice is that moment when you can embrace,
Either
even after
you're
that most of the
warriors
All right,
there's
today,
all these
Zimmer goes like,
that would bring you to a show.
remember that you cook on honey. So what happens? So Yoshapa says, I need someone to be in. So Akbar says, why are you going to be in? Look at all these hundreds of guys that are here. So the Gemara says, Amalei, Kaf Mikubani Medis Abi Abba, I learned this from my father, Signon Echad Ola V'Kamen Adiyah. The English name of the deen is not the signal Echad. So ultimately, yes, what I learned is this. You could have prophets all espousing the same message, but they'll be about 5 lines up and about. Right? But they go, but none of them can give it over in the same way. They all get the same message, so don't give it over. The fact that Shopper is sitting there, and he's like, I just want to point out, these were not people who were activists in the message, but remember, the whole thing was skewed because it was trying to wanted Akab to go out to work to fall in battle. So Shopper's like, what? You guys are saying the same exact thing that doesn't make any sense. So therefore, again, Shopper needs to be okay.
There's this comics that
so much of people, good. I'm not an national alright. What's the example of another? You go with something that was not silver. You go, can I get a puzzler? So she's like, can I even answer? What happened there? The cutting, Stereo was standing in the Amar, Koamar, Shem Tzavakos, and in his shoulder as Keshes. So Yirmiyah is giving a prophecy. Who's going to go ahead and break the ball to them. I'm going to break the ball in order to defeat them. Okay, so what happens? Nasa Hananya comes for the answer. So Hananya hears this prophecy from you, and he needs to come from the couple of Mercury, Lazarus, Bovel, and Rakos Baruch when you show that he's like, so Elon, they came down Bovel. Who's going to say that he's going to break the bow and he's going to defeat him. And I'll have to come to the camera. Trust me, I'll have to come to the camera. This one is coming to breaking the primary bow of God's stone, so he's going to break the secondary bow of God's stone. So, so can I get a couple of words? Because Baruch is going to go and defeat Elon. So what happens? Goes out and he prophesies Amar Hashem Shavarti as old Melech Baba. It's fascinating. So Kalani hears a prophecy of the prophecy, and he tells us a new prophecy. Only one is true. The prophet didn't say. Only from Abaye. I the Chaver and I'm going to what are you talking about? This is not new. Some of the prophecy made this up. Which the Lord says, came on this guy, the form of the message, demanding Ikmar. So ultimately, again, the Ikmar late, moving for them away. Those are all going to get because of the because he's a Capricorn, and because the Capricorn is going to be existential principles, where it's like a case of saying over a prophecy that was not given over. Okay, beautiful. And the assumption of all this Republic was an example of all the prophesization in the name of prophecy. What's the last one? Keep going to the Habal. So this is the Habal. Going to the Habal. So again, Paul was like he had his own Nevi'im. You can ask my first, but this is our relationship. things that were not true.
I
Takovic is the loss of what's incredible. What's an example of opening old prophecies? We don't Yonah ben
like
Amitai.
going in for the TV show audition and
Yonah,
having
right?
jokes like
Yonah
strikes me
gets
as
a
a guy
prophecy, what does he do? He runs away.
who does
You understand what he's doing. So many of us are over.
you know, I think he's a thoughtful guy, and I relate to him. After met Mitch Drew, actually, it was funny enough, it's his good friend. I was in like this rain at like 10 before Tough Mudder, the Batman Drew came out.
Just like again, Gemara says, every day
We're
basketball
sitting there getting ready for it, and I get this message on my phone. Somebody's like,
every day basketball comes
why'd
out
you
and
back out of
says,
this fight with Sean
and I
McCormick?
hear this prophecy, and I hear this basketball, what do I do with it? What do I do with it? What do I do with it?
And then he links me to this Reddit post, and he like, it's this elaborate story, like,
Every day prophecy comes to us. Every day
PGO was talking shit online, so I told him, like, oh, fucking beat your ass, I'm like, blah, blah, and I'm coming out to LA, and he's like, yeah, let's do it, and he talks to Sean, and you're like, oh, Sean is actually serious, like, it was very elaborate, it was like a multi-paragraph story.
From the back of the video, who's the one? What's an example of going to kiss on the work? On the days?
So
On the
it's
days?
confused, I'm like, but it's a bizarre thing, it's like, it's really good, people talk shit about you, is another thing, to have a kind of like, make up this, like, short story about you, which like, you want to fight, and it's like, I wouldn't, like, he's a 6'7" UFC fighter, I'm trying to fight that guy in the street for free, and you're gonna be like,
People just do
So
that on
again,
YouTube
this
and
was
Reddit.
also one of the prophets was prophesizing
Reddit, they just make stuff up.
That is
Like,
right.
they make up a narrative.
Say that
Right.
how come the narrative?
In retrospect, if what he was trying to do is like get to Brandon through
God
or whatever, like, I can assign a number of different motives that are sort of acceptable to me. I don't know if he still does as a personal, but anybody that had anything personal against me because I was Brandon. So I don't feel any animal. It was a little weird. I was just like, Sean McCormick out there. He's like, oh, that dude's like hilarious, and he's like, he called him bullshit. But it's true that he's very funny, but also he was like, oh yeah, he just makes some crazy shit all the time. So all right, I feel familiar with it. But then, you saw him posted him recently. Yeah, I guess he had to do my enemy's my friend, but I think PGO
was commanded to go ahead and the story of your love of
100% fabricated. And he's always said he blocked me on social media. He was like, and then Mark blocked me. And I was like, oh shit, because when I click on your Instagram, like, it shows that you blocked me, and I still have the option to block you in other words. But
It's all Sean's fault. You know,
What is it that
he's
they
like, look, if I like this, how would he single me out if I was a
if you get close to Sean, you get confusion. So
Yeah,
correct. You probably smooth things over with the
Never again.
CEO.
Even once the
You know, this way with him, but he's a real
I think he's hilarious, and I hope that he can look at this situation like, oh yeah, like,
not to me, because he has the base on it. So what did he do? What did he do? You know,
you know, like, I'm the kind of guy, like, if I feel like personally, you know, and if not, well,
just I'm saving you a
you
trip. You don't have to go ahead and go
I
all
think
these things.
if
Just serve a
Sean knew about me and Gerardo's personal lives, he probably the worst.
Ultimately, again, so ego.
But anyway, the question I was going to ask you is,
offering
what the food while he talks to me, is that like, or is it disrespect, or why does he constantly do that? It's sauce or something else.
So ego was that nothing.
it's another one of these examples of something where
When you go, so go to your prophecy. Don't stop.
but not for the whatever butchering, but it's so much, and again, I'll use the narcissistic term over and over because it's appropriate, but it's a set of rules for this one person. He likes to get over because he's very judgmental about other people. Every time
Somebody
I
likes
like say,
says, I'm sorry, I can't have a prophet. I'm not on a mission.
like, I'm going to have this, I'll eat like 6 eggs and a ribeye and a fucking potato and like mash on, like, yeah, it's going to be a lot of food because I'm 250 pounds and I lifted weights, so get off my nuts, not, like if I'm having a second slice of lava cake at the improv, like,
You got any for that?
every, like, I was like, you're trying to, like, shame me for eating like you're talking about, I was totally overeating, I really did. Any anytime like he kind of makes you just feel on edge with eating because all the eating is like connected to him. So like let's say like I'm gonna eat by myself, well like he doesn't give you per diem. So if you're on the road, normally like any TV show or anything like where you do commercials, so you feel like you're giving money for any time you're not on set to like cover your food. Yeah. Sean will pay for your food, so again, it's more like he will take care of you when you're on the road, but it's kind of like, well, we're going to all eat in the same restaurant together, but what that gives us is the power to be like, dude, we're like, you order that, we're like, dude, slow down, we're let's go, please stop eating, please stop eating. It's really shit because like when we in the improv, it's like, yeah, man, maybe I only had like a light breakfast and then I'm gonna have 12 chicken tenders, you know? Or something like that where it's like, I don't like obviously don't eat that much or I'm getting fat. Like I made like binge eating is still kind of fun to me to do on a Saturday. It's like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna get plastered, but I might have like, some chocolate cake. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, but he like really, he didn't always have this tension of like, he doesn't want you to get around him. Okay, he's not eating especially, like he's got some weird hang-ups about eating, but then after the show, he's always like, let's go get pizza. I'm like, dude, I just like, there's free food here, or do I just eat it? And I think he just like it, maybe because he's like nervous before he runs or something like that, but like, it's always like, any principle he has is like, I'm gonna be gross, but if you said anything to him while he's eating, lights out. I wonder what his therapist thinks about the drug diaries. Like, I want to do carnivore and keto and like Mark, but also like, there's a donut in the logo of my company, and I'm calling myself fat.
The whole thing is aesthetic. That movie, The Menu, where they do this?
I enjoy it. I like to get other girls for cheers parts of it. There's definitely some good lines in it that goes into it. Because I went into it too. I used to like, I would consider myself a movie buff, like, in the sense I love, who got into it late, but I was like, watching a lot of Netflix in my day. But I was going, I used to watch all these trailers. I really do like when I would like try to pip it out to get like 18 like discs of like a week or something like that. I'm watching this one in the morning because it comes in and then sending down. Like I'll send it out this and then I remember not watching the trailer, so I didn't know anything about it. And then just went, that was really surprisingly good. Yeah, it was cool. The answer is nothing. I already say something about the eating. It would just be funny if at Food Truck Diaries they had a similar kind of thing. Like Brendan's crazy.
How exactly does everyone know that you help us? My master today is giving him a scar. And Rabbi is having the
What's the worst bomb you've seen?
So that's that question. I don't know if I've seen him like a really he's too hard. How much time you got me? I would say this. I'd say, well, like, so it's fair to see him as an audience. It's again, not that that's bad or anything, but like, it's like, maybe there was a lot of people who come on after the shows and like tell shit. Like she was like got awkward. I don't know.
Like, he's sitting next to Jay at the heart table, and people are like, "You're fucking hilarious." Brendan sucks. And then walks off. She's like standing next to him. Like, damn, I'm in the water.
Like Yonah finds out everybody else.
A lot of people don't realize because he's
probably not going ahead and see any of that.
Social media, but he's a very authentic person.
Yonah made Kara, didn't they now pack us?
Surprised.
Very important.
He's really good.
Yonah said, but old are going young.
He takes this really professional approach where like he's not involved. He'll add like little looks. He'll be like he makes like small tweaks to a better joke that might not be totally obvious, but like he watches his own sets. Yeah, it's better. Brendan does it crazy. And no, I don't think he watched his entire hour set like once. Like he only watches things to like post it. Like he's ready to post.
How was he after doing Like the night after I did,
Again, it was like, a lot of stress to get into it. This is going to hurt Brian. Times he's always been like, that was important. He also said, like he says, some diplomatic things that I think I know, like, even if we can't discuss it directly, like Brian's on the same page as me as far as seeing his faults. I mean, rash way from Brendan, but like, he gets it. He'll just kind of go out his way. Like remember when
as much as we know what we're going to do and how we're going to do it for us, our lives are just open and
historically has had different element to the
in another 40 days, this is
he treats people like
it's
appliances.
good, or is it bad?
This curing machine
But
working.
it's going to be who you're going to be,
Throw it out
person
there.
you're going to become, it's up to you.
How stupid is he
Right,
really?
the last
Like,
I
like
so once
Brendan
it's
Schaub,
over,
everybody
then
thinks he's really stupid, right? Is it like he's just dumb, like a dumb guy? Is it safe for him to drag his kids around? Like,
Right, so I think like if you were to test his IQ, I don't think that would be like super exceptional bad or something. Like I think he would be average or above average intelligence. Actually, well, I would say I'd say he's well above average intelligence. But the same thing is like George Bush or something like that. Like where people go, like, oh, you got like a 12, 30 on his SATs, where it's like that's pretty good, you know, 600. Here's the specific commentary I'll make about that. Brendan is not a curious person. He has his very limited areas of interest. He watches a lot of reality TV. He watches like he's into like serial killers, but like a fascination with the world. He just not a fascination with geopolitics, a fascination with other cultures or religions or anything that really is. I would say more abstract kind of thing. Maybe like a Canadian side. That tends to draw people who are more abstract and philosophical because it draws very like my thoughts are funny.
Again, why does this listen to his father? Like, again, we're not going to humanity
is like
we're going to shut
this sort of
you
philosopher.
should have said.
I don't think Brendan has that like.
The old man's lost it, right? That's what he should have said. That's what he should have said. So why was
there's
he
very
so
little curiosity and very little self-reflection that I would almost consider that like those core elements of like long-term success as a comedian is going. What do I care about? What do I think? Having metacognition, I guess that would be really there. We're describing like some of the deficits that people with personality disorders have and why it's very difficult for them to think about their own thinking. Which I think you guys probably take for granted. Like you think about your own thinking, you think about your emotions, you can kind of take this more objective perspective of like, you know, and I notice it with your comments, you're like, on the show, there's an element of detachment that makes it more funny. Basically, I'm just like reacting kind of stupid things. Like, it's funny, it's like, you know, there's a thoughtfulness that I think, you know, it does a lot of comedy. With like takes the edge off of even something highly critical. It's like you're going like, I didn't care, but this is stupid. You know, this is fucking stupid.
So what happens? So remember again,
the lack of curiosity,
the lack of
self-reflection, the lack of like
crazy stuff. What is it?
wrong about something. Like if you know, like I can tell. Well, somebody changed my political views over the years.
Puts a lot of water
very anti-Second Amendment.
right?
Now I consider myself pro-Second
All of that.
Amendment.
What does he do?
Even if I have a set
Fire
belief
comes
about
from
something,
heavens, consumes
I still want to
everything.
continue to like learn about it and challenge it. And same with lifting it as something I watch like deadlift videos once a month just to be like, what is it a cue there or something? I'm just like, actual like over the years I've changed the way I do even these very basic lifts. Because I've always kind of like never mind that I care or whatever this is, but it's true in the sense of like the moment you think your shit don't stick when it's
once the
kind
project
of
has
calcified.
established, that
You know what I mean?
has to give an oath
And this is what once he thinks he has something figured out, like lifting, for example, he doesn't do anything right in the gym. Like he's very strong in a lot of ways. He doesn't do full pull-ups. He doesn't do like proper like overhead press. I've never seen him do a proper squat. Like even like a goblet. Right, like this all the way, like I listen, it's like everything's like a shortcut or a half-ass. He'll tell you, dude, I grew up in the gym. It's like, yeah, okay, I can spend the night in a computer lab every day for 10 years. What do you mean I know how to code?
If there was like a video of him doing half pull-ups, that would go viral.
How many missiles were fired from my gun? How many missiles were fired from my ass? In that one, one kid.
Right? But it's
Again, how is it
if
massive
we're
killing
also it's
movement?
competitive.
Everywhere.
Like if I'm going
Miracles
all the
don't
way down,
work.
then
The miracles like
it's like,
fireworks.
yeah,
But what
I
happens when you watch fireworks? What happens?
12
What happens?
with the same strings. But
Yeah,
some little, like if you're raising your hips off the bar when you're doing bench was like, it's all like individually,
I am
he
just
might
going to
go,
become a
well,
better
I'm
person.
doing good,
Whatever
like
it
his
is,
incline press
whatever
rate
it is.
is,
You know what
like,
happens to fireworks?
4-6
Watch
inches
it.
from his chest
It's
now.
entertaining.
That's
It's
cool.
like
If
see all the
your
videos,
shoulder hurts,
the
but like,
videos,
a lot of times it's not that they're trying to weight down and just convince themselves, whereas I'm more a proponent of like, go way lighter if you can and actually strengthen yourself in extreme range of motion, go deeper than you do, and that actually prepares you better, and it prepares and strengthens your joints better for doing full range barbell movements. I don't think the weights here because
No.
I have this almost like
How you do something is how you do everything.
exactly
glorious work,
it's like
day in and
contract, and I get a lot of patience because I've worked out with many people in the gym. But like, it also kind of gives all this here as a growth virtue. Like, if you try to
yeah, that's awesome. Now there's not really there.
I had to try and not because like
watch this.
if somebody like,
But now that we mentioned,
I was a personal trainer that kind of taught us like I used to work in the valleys like 2007 and I coached
because he was Moksam. So he was up there, he had kind of like the things that I
don't fucking talk to me. It's like, all right,
after 9, that's the one.
gym.
It says it wasn't after these things, but I checked that. I'm just like, yeah, okay, though. Afterwards, I'm just going to show you, and zero, after afterwards, it's not the one who should try to do this directly. Like, he got my yellow, but he got out. Plus, he was like, he's stuck the boy got up, and he grew up, and he was
kind of has this
I remember he was
professional attitude towards lifting.
How much does
I think he's a really good like.
The publisher owner, something is that
called pop culture, but like
he's
into the things he's into.
like this old man.
And he
So
took the guy
Kanato,
became
when they were
friends
showing
from
up, we got them,
like
he gave him a
he
chance to
would
be
look at everything I
told.
did.
Because
I said, no, I look for like in the exact form.
Property,
Never
this
paid
old man
that,
so
never
much.
complained to
And
every
all
single
these
like
people this day and age,
I'm like, oh yeah, you're like
they offered you up a little car. There was never even like a
don't
pigeon,
complain.
a turtle dove, nothing. Yeah, that after that. Little bird, nothing.
I wanted to clarify that. Maybe I want to clarify something because we talked about. I think we talked about the dick picture joke on a previous podcast. And I didn't know that you were married at the time. So just that. Not okay.
Right, there's like 6 different levels to it. It's like you're sending terrible dick pics, but maybe you're
But it's messy.
Right?
So, sometimes
Use my phone.
so I'm not sure. So this is
like 3K a month photography, and like, but then it was like,
basically,
that was
it's
another
the
guy
value of your
like,
in this
but like, great promise. Like having average. I told you I'm gonna spend the rest of the day editing clips for TikTok. Like I'm gonna post it, but then I kind of find out later. You know,
if you do this,
$7,000,
yeah, that's
300.
but if you fail, you fail.
How expensive are they? I wanted to ask a couple questions. So for with Brian Callen, right? Yeah. On the AMA, I had knows what he's doing, exactly. And he's a student. He's overarching thing on Brian. I mean, he has some issue with him. We had a fight companion. There was happening in the change. I was wondering